that yes, I am ready.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, now that I've dried off from the beach and I've smoked that pre-taping cigarette here on YouTube, I think I'm ready to go. Rob, what about you?
I think so. I think I'm ready to go.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you all for joining us on Sunday. It's an impromptu get-together. I kind of, I just hit out Rob earlier today. I said, hey, do you want to, after your volleyball game, because that's what he loves to do, do you want to hop on the tubes, kind of hang out in the chats with people and see what they're saying, kind of maybe answer some questions, talk about some stuff? And he said he committed to it, which was cool. But then I got tagged in this Elon Musk tweet by somebody. And so I decided part of it's going to be a gripe session. So I'll just say right now, if you don't want to hear us griping about Elon Musk, and if you didn't see that tweet, you can head over to my Twitter handle. I quoted it. It's he more or less outright lied, as far as I'm concerned, calling out a Cointelegraph article that was put out today. So that being said, guys, welcome. Got Rob, everybody's favorite from Digital Asset News. He's joining us. Got Daryl Lister in the chats. How you doing today, Rob? How's the weather out there?
It's a crisp, cool 106 degrees. Let me make sure that's right.
106 degrees.
No. 102. I'm sorry. Just 102. And like I always say on my channel, like everybody's like, oh man, your office is so great. You got a pool in there, whatever else. Look, with 102 degrees, it's not that awesome. But I will tell you, not to do a little segue, but I'm going to do a segue. You know what is awesome is this market. Wasn't this, Alex, wasn't this today supposed to be the day when everything crashed? Or like pretty close, right? Death cross was coming. We had more shorts. People were betting against Bitcoin. And then we were supposed to go to 20K or something like that.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, 25K. I don't know if it was the death of, down to 20K. But even, CJ earlier in the week, he didn't say we had a death cross or the market was falling. But earlier in the week, he did mention on the Daily Show that a death cross was forming and we should look out for the possibility of it completing.
He's the only one. He's like one of not the only one. He's a few of the ones that gets it, and says like, this is what's happening, and he always gives like another side to it. That's why I love him. So yeah. And it didn't, I mean, it was pretty close from what I see, but didn't.
I'm happy. No, I'm happy. I mean, listen, I put out a little note with a picture of the ocean this morning saying I was going for a dip. That's how calm I felt. The cigarette index is way down.
I think we're at DEFCON 1. Maybe.
Yeah, it's at a leisurely 1. It's really nice. So and once again, I appreciate you putting together that metric.
Well, it's let's just be honest, it's pretty accurate. Am I wrong? I mean, it is kind of a lagging indicator if you want to take a look at it. But if you hey, do me a favor, can I share my screen?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Let me, if people don't know what the heck I'm talking about, I will show you what this is all about. And first of all, Trade the Chain is pretty exceptional as far as like indicators that are looking for. Sentiment analysis, of course, is the big thing. We always are trying to look at what's going on and what's happening in the market. But there is one type of analysis that I think that could really help us out, and that is the SBA, the smoke break analysis, which is put together, that I put together. I'm going to try to pull this if I can. Let me.
It is a brilliant indicator. The VASIC. It's a brilliant indicator in the fact that Rob picked up that I call people on my smoke break. So if I'm sitting at the desk, I'm doing my work, like hour and a half, 2 hours go by. I'll go take a smoke break out on the terrace. And during that time, I call people, including him. And so he figured out that the more times I call him during a given day, the more smoke breaks I'm taking and the more volatile the market is, because he also picked up on the correlation. So it's a leading indicator that could be a professional one someday.
I think so. So let me, I had to pull this from my one. So what I want to do is just real quickly, and then we'll get into the Elon Musk story, which everybody wants to hear about, even though.
Oh gosh, what a character today.
Today, come on, Alex. We know it's not just today. This guy.
I see somebody making a comment about my bed behind me. First of all, let me tell you, I think nobody's slept in this bed. It's a guest bedroom that I put a desk in. So those are probably the sheets from day one.
So here's what we're talking about, the smoke break index. And then as you can see, lagging indicator, when Alex is, first of all, if Alex has any issues, like he'll talk to me or just send me like a simple message. I'm like, it's no big deal. So now I know it's at zero smokes. But when he's a little bit jittery, I know that we're on the one level. And as you can see, here's on May 31st, it was a one smoke max. June 1st, it went to zero when everything started to calm down. But then all the way on the same day, went all the way up as we had turbulence in the market. And then on June 4th, as we can all remember what happened there, this is Alex's face, 3 to 4 smokes minimum. And then we have never hit this, but this will happen. Hopefully never, but we could see it. And that's DEFCON 5. Where we have it at a full box alarm. And we don't want to ever go down this route. This is probably where maybe there's like a double spend, or maybe somebody comes out and Peter Schiff says that he is Satoshi Nakamoto. That would probably only be warranted in those limited instances. So that's what we're talking about. So just follow Alex over at Alex Mascioli or me at News Asset, and I'll put out that lagging indicator whenever you want to see it. So that's what's going on. Pretty important stuff. Accuracy.
Oh God, I love you, Rob.
Good stuff. Hey,
what's that? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. What do you got to say?
No, I didn't know where you wanted to jump. Do you want to go straight into Elon?
No, I'm going to go. First of all, I want to go just real quick. No. Let's go.
We do it. No, we do it your way. I like it actually when you take control of my show. I'm like a submissive there.
Jeez. You know what? Let's give people what they want. They came here for the Elon thing. Let's talk to them. But then after that, we need to talk about the market and where it's funny how like Bitcoin, everybody's like, it's going to do this, it's going to do this. And all of a sudden it does the exact opposite. That's why I love this market. So let's talk about Elon first. Throw up that tweet that you were tagged in. Because when you sent it to me, I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah. So let me get this up in the air here. So, yeah, I mean, basically what happened here was there was this tweet. Cointelegraph put out a story that someone was lambasting him, saying, we've seen the Bitcoin as price manipulation by one powerful, influential individual. And the story goes on to talk about them selling and talk about him basically crap tweeting to either as a joke, either maybe he's smoking the 420, who knows? I'm not going to try to guess what that is. But he goes, this is inaccurate. Tesla only sold 10% of holdings to confirm BTC would be limited or liquidated easily without moving the market. When there's confirmation of written, I don't care about the second part. I want to go at the first part. So I just tweeted back. I said, your tweet is inaccurate, Elon Musk. You're one of the great ones, but your crypto incompetence regarding Bitcoin and market manipulation damaging everyday investors is astounding. And the reason I call it astounding is on a couple different levels. One is he clearly knows his influence. He has like 57 million followers on Twitter. Okay. He bought 1.5 billion via Tesla back in Q1.
Yeah.
And then proceeds to the selling part I don't even care about. Okay, folks, just to hit the selling part real quickly, the selling part is a nothing burger because they basically sold profits. Okay, they didn't sell any principal, so he didn't dethrone himself as a Bitcoin god as everybody came to believe. They sold some profits and whatnot. But to say that he sold in order to test the liquidity of the market to make sure they wouldn't move it is utterly ridiculous. Okay. First of all, this test has been proven time and time again, mainly by miners who hold a hell of a lot more Bitcoin than Mr. Musk. Okay. Second of all, he tweets out conflicting messages all the time on reasons why they do one thing or the other. This one is blatantly not true, and it's also it's calling out Cointelegraph on an article that is correct. And so I just don't understand the guy. He literally is single-handedly started the precipitation of a down bear market that we're in currently, and nobody's taken his phone away. And he spews lies. He's highly inaccurate when he tweets about Tesla, their Bitcoin position, or his sense of view on renewable energy and the amount of energy Bitcoin takes.
Yeah, I think some of those things where he talks about, he's like, well, it's amazing how, your company buys $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, and you know what? We don't like the way that this is actually being mined. We need to get it into renewable sources. And we just didn't do our due diligence before we dropped that $1.5 billion. That didn't happen. What happened was they dropped that money into it. And it sounds like a lot of different companies and institutions says, hey, that's irresponsible. If you believe what Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, says. I don't know. I don't know about that, but there's a lot of different speculation around. And even who is the head there at ARK Investments? Kathy
Wood.
Kathy Wood. She was talking about how there was, Elon kind of got not trapped into the situation, but put in the situation because sounds like somebody else called him and said, we can't be doing these types of things. Then there was another different issue that came up with BlackRock. Also, I believe one of the investors into Tesla, they didn't like that position. So I don't really know. About, that. I'm pretty sure they knew exactly how Bitcoin was mined. And now all of a sudden it was a big deal. Hey, do me a favor. Throw up that tweet one more time. Let's have everybody take a look at it. Thank you.
And just to go with my good buddy Hawk, who just chimed in. Let me just say something. I don't criticize Elon Musk for selling Bitcoin profits. Okay, everybody should take profits when they want to take profits. I just criticize him for coming up with a really cockamamie story that they sold in order to see how easy BTC could be liquidated in the market. So, why does he tweet at all?
First of all, Alex, these situations, if you had to sell, if you have big type of institutions and players, couldn't they just sell OTC?
Well, not even that. You could see another company that I am a little critical of. Listen, one thing I got to say, folks, is that I do admire the likes of Elon Musk. I do admire the gumption of Michael Saylor and Jack Dorsey, all for purchasing Bitcoin to put on a balance sheet and kind of leading the way here, right? They used their power for good when they made those moves. What I do have a problem with are fallacies that are spewed to the public. And also, let's talk about MicroStrategies for a second. $500 million in senior secured debt offering junk bonds. First time junk bonds have been used to buy Bitcoin, okay, or cryptocurrency of any kind. Now, Michael Saylor's done well. He entered into a very good trade, and the market went with him on that back in fall of last year. But he did that off balance sheet. And then he created another debt offering, and he bought some more Bitcoin. And now he's gone ahead and he created junk bonds, MicroStrategy junk bonds, senior secured in order to buy another $500 million in Bitcoin.
Mhm.
This goes against the principle of what I believe you and I try to teach or educate people on who are getting into crypto, which is one, don't use leverage, and
Yeah.
two, don't borrow money to buy a highly speculative asset. This is essentially taking all the things you shouldn't do and putting it into motion. Okay, a junk bond is a very low rated bond. It's junk for a reason, has a high coupon rate for a reason, because you're taking a speculative risk buying them. He's then using that money to acquire a highly speculative asset. And then he is trumping all the other people who have a stake in crypto and MicroStrategies, including the previous debt offering, by making it a senior secured note, which means that if MicroStrategy goes under in the court of law during a liquidation, the junk bond holders are going to have first outs in a court proceeding. So I don't know. It's like grown men going against the principles of what they should be doing.
Do you think it's because even with these junk bonds, they're pretty risky of default, I suppose. But do you think it's a good play to put it into Bitcoin as it's going down this path of it's just we've seen some pretty big reductions from 64,000. Now we're at what, 38,000?
I don't think it's junk bonds. I don't think it was a smart play to offer regular debt instruments on the first round to go into Bitcoin. And it's basically buying crypto on your credit card, right, folks? So you max out a $10,000 credit card, you buy $10,000 worth of Bitcoin. Now that Bitcoin is worth $5,000, you're still paying for $10,000 worth of Bitcoin.
That's true. But I wonder how much they're in profit right now with everything that they bought beforehand. They're still pretty up, right?
Yeah, they are. They're pretty up. It's well over $1.5 billion that they're up. So the fact that they have two debt offerings that went out. One when we were near the highs, and one now where we're down about 45%. I'm not sure. I mean, this is their version of buying the dip, but this is like big boy gameplay buying the dip.
That's right. This is big boy. This is risky. And it's a funny thing because like on my channel, I say don't do leverage trades, which are just crazy, 50 to 100x. But there's, what Michael Saylor did is not that he's doing leverage trade, but I mean, he is like, betting against and going, yeah, we'll buy a little bit on these junk bonds and no big deal. It is risky. Let's see if it works out for him. I personally think that Bitcoin will go up, but who knows that time frame? I have no idea.
Yeah, and Christian chats who said putting the money Saylor is collecting, it's all from speculative investors, right? So it's not exactly the same as me taking debt to buy crypto. I mean, that is correct, but it's still life ruining if the trade goes against you. It's life ruining for all the employees that work there if something makes the company falter. If this doesn't work out, it's obviously it could be life faltering for Michael Saylor. But so it's just on a bigger level, but it's the same premise as yeah.
No, you're right. You're completely right. It is risky, but what's crazy is that it seems to be kind of working out okay so far. So let's segue. So the car salesman is the car salesman. He does what he does and he tweets. And when people say that, that guy, I try not to say his name anymore until he gets his head right. That guy, when he tweets, and people will say, well, he doesn't move the market. Those tweets don't move the market. Well, in essence, it does. Because if you've got 59 million, I don't know how many people that he has right there, right? If you don't think that his tweet can move the price of Dogecoin, and it's just, some people who are like really, have billions of dollars and really believe in the tech and the fundamentals, you're out of your mind. Because when he tweets those types of things, people who have really, let's be honest, they may not have the best grasp of what a good cryptocurrency is. They're like, oh, you know what? Let's get into that. So I don't think it's that so much. Yes, there is a component that traders And even some investors will look at this and go, oh, he tweeted negatively about that. Well, we're going to see a tumble, so I'm just going to follow along with that, and I'm going to sell my positions. Yes, absolutely. But he still does, and it still makes sense. I personally don't like to talk about the car salesman myself. I just don't.
You don't bring up Elon Musk a lot.
No, I don't, because when I was in Houston, I said I want everybody to drop him. I said drop Elon, or drop car salesman guy, because I just don't see the whole point. If you believe in, the cryptocurrency space and what's happening, we really shouldn't listen to a guy who thinks that Dogecoin is going to be the next great currency, and that he's going to work with the developers and put smart contracts on, and go from proof of work to proof of stake, or whatever else he's going to do smart. Come on, are you out of your mind? Let's it makes my head explode sometimes. And if it works out, hey, I'll be the first one to say that I'm wrong. But I mean, come on, you got to be kidding me. So I try to talk about him. That's one of the reasons. So let's do me a favor before I have a stroke.
No, I like it. I mean, that doesn't seem like we've gotten you riled up enough.
Oh, no. Trust me, I try to keep my blood pressure at a minimum. But out of all this FUD and all the things that are going on right now, we've had a lot of it, right? We've had a lot of stuff going into this weekend. I mean, look, did you see, Alex, where do you pull up data for your shorts? Like, for your shorts, to find data on short positions?
The short positions, actually, I got to search for it.
Because I got this one website, bybt.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Bybit. That's it.
Let me show you.
Not to be confused with the exchange, folks.
Yeah. So this is, we just did a video yesterday, and it was just looking at what was going to go on in the weekend, because people were talking about the death cross, and it was going to be the worst thing ever. In the last two death crosses that we had in 2018, 2020, we saw a dip of 74%, I think 46% respectively.
Yeah.
Which was a lot, and it was extended. So it was pretty worrisome. My man CJ, Market Rebellion, said, well, it's forming, hasn't come here yet, so we'll see what happens. Now the price has gone up, a little bit different story. When I looked at bybt.com yesterday, there was a lot of shorts. There was more shorts than there were longs.
Yep.
And now, here's perpetual. The sentiment has changed, it looks like. Looks like we've got everything in the long position. Isn't that amazing how that works?
Well, first of all, I think, well, hold on, hang on a second. I got to go to the chat real quick. Juan Guarda just said, what's up, Alex? Let me tell you something. I went to high school with him. It's probably been like 25 years since I've seen Juan. So we went to the academy together and everything. So I want to say hi, Juan. Thanks for jumping in, man. So happy. First of all, I think we're moving the market, you and I, Rob, right now. According to the people in the chats, Bitcoin is on an upswing because of us being on the air.
That's right. Us and the 250 people that joined us, who are all whales.
I'm pretty sure you and I have more sway at this point than Elon Musk. Nobody listens to him. That being said, we spoke about this earlier with the short position and possible short squeeze going to market. The issue I have with that is that the market is so depressed right now. There's no one to squeeze. Okay. There's just like CJ said the other day in the episode, why the bottom was falling in the 30s, the mid 30s, low 30s, is because there's nobody else left to liquidate. Okay. There's no one else to squeeze.
Yeah. So we were talking about that. What do you use to find liquidations? Do you think people who were liquidated already? Because I mean, we've seen some pretty good price action.
Well, here, if I do this, if I go to trade the chain and pull up, let me share my screen real quick.
So that'll be good.
All right, so if we go and we do this, let's go over coins page. First of all, let's see the daily sentiment. What's looking on? I mean, Chainlink, very bullish on the daily sentiment. That's pretty cool. See what's looking on the 1 hour for the Steam. Steam is topping the list. All right, so the biggest thing here you go. We got some liquidations right here. Let me go to the bottom of the barrel. We got
Liquidated shorts.
Look at that, shorts on ETH. Here's BTC, otherwise known as XBT. Yeah, we got, look at this, 1040, 349, 349, 3. We got quite a list of liquidations.
How much do you think that's gonna? Do you think more people get liquidated today, or do you think the price? What do you think the price is gonna do? Because I mean, first of all, what is the price of Bitcoin right now? Because yesterday it wasn't too hot.
I believe. Well, here, look at this. We have liquidations at the 38,000 level. So let me take a look. So as we speak, and I'm sure the viewers are on top of this and think we're dopes. Wow, 38.8. So we're hovering just below 39. You and I single-handedly have pumped the price 2K since being on here. But yeah, these are a heck of a lot of liquidations, and quite honestly, the more that get liquidated right now, the better, because these are liquidated shorts, not liquidated long. So let the short guys get liquidated.
Hey, so we talked about this before. There was, I'm going to share my screen, and because I don't think you can go back to in time for BYBT, but this was from yesterday's video. See all that? Let me see if I can blow this up. Get my enormous head out of there. All right, here we go. So these were the shorts yesterday. It was all in this category because everybody thought for sure that was what was going to happen. And here's what we have today. So it's amazing what a little sentiment will do, a little talk about some death crosses here and there. And then before you know it, bang, here we are. So it is what it is. And that's why, man, I feel sorry for those traders, because it made sense, didn't it? Like, oh, well, here's the death cross coming together. It's going to cross over. All the different FUD that we hear about from China and the G7 that's going on right now, and President Biden was gonna bring up the whole issue about cryptocurrencies and legislation. Everybody's freaking out, and
yeah, I mean, hey, the problem the other night, and darn it, I wish I could remember, but I shared a bottle of really good red wine, and my whatever I'd said left my mind. But I was having dinner with our friend Lucas Bradley.
Oh, yeah. Lucas Bradley.
We were having dinner together, and I said to him, Lucas, I feel so bad. I said, I feel ashamed. I feel kind of off. I said, for the last handful of years, I've been head of institutional services for a crypto prime broker, overseeing 25, 30 billion a month in crypto trading by the big guys. And now, I'm on the retail side with Trade the Chain and all this good stuff. Since that time, I mean, you go back a year ago, and our movement forward with institutional adoption, with institutional market participants, whether they're corporates or otherwise, was so, I don't know, we had such high hopes, right? Our eyes were wide open with optimism. We'd just come back from the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. We were excited. Volumes were going up. And then the last 4 months, particularly, the market has been like made fun of, gamified by the people like Elon Musk, and pushing, first of all, clearly manipulating the market, in my opinion, and that's my opinion.
Yeah.
But things from like Shiba, and listen, guys, I know you all bought into SafeMoon or Shiba or whatever, and you made a killing and you love it and all that good stuff. But the fact of the matter is, to have the adults in the room promoting that, especially with the influx of new crypto investors, people touching this for the first time, just such a disservice. And I think I had a resolution. Like I told Lucas, hey, when this happens, like when Daffy Duck comes out and does Bitcoin commercials, I'm packing up and going home.
Yeah,
it wasn't that, but
but I mean, there is some validity to it, because, like, I mean, we'll go back to the meme coins. For everybody that made a killing, there's 100,000 people out there that are holding those bags right now, going, hey, I got in at, like, let's take Dogecoin, 64 cents, 65 cents, I think was one of the all-time highs. And now, where are we at now? 30 cents, 40 cents, somewhere around there?
I don't pay attention to Doge.
Well,
I pay attention to Doge like you pay attention to Elon Musk.
yeah, true. And it's just one of those things where it's going to go down. Now, I always talk about investing in teams, looking at the utility. What does it actually do? Does it actually, uh, what is it being built upon, and where is it actually going? And again, what's the teams? So I don't really see it as this thing. And it's just like we got sidetracked. Like in 2017, we got sidetracked with ICOs, which were just horrible for the space because that's really what a lot of people got broke on. And I thought, well, thank God that's over. And then all of a sudden in 2021, here we are with meme coins, and we're doing these crazy ones like that. What's that one crap coin that you were talking about?
Crap coin, crap finance.
Yeah, it's probably worth like $50 billion now, which does absolutely nothing.
The people's crap coin, like Doge is the people's crypto card. Yeah, it's all a laughing stock right now.
Yeah, so I'd like to get away from this stuff. And I'd like to just go, what are you actually doing? What are these projects right now doing? How is it changing the world besides just people trading left and right? And that's what I really like to get to. And that's just my 2 cents in the whole situation on that part. So I will just say this. I'm glad that the market is going up. It looks like, longs, there's a lot more longs now. Looks like people have realized that, hey, maybe this is, maybe a little bit some bold momentum, maybe as people call it, dead cat bounce. I don't know. But we'll see.
You know what you got to do? I just realized. See, because you're on. I don't even know if is World Mobile, is that public from your side?
No,
No.
The World Mobile Token, we can't. The token generation event, the TGE as they call it, should be out.
But are you public with it?
Public as far as
like you've spoken to him, you've done your thing and all that, right? All right.
Yeah,
And James Bowater. I mean,
James.
I mean, James has been with that team for 3 years now. Like literally like a long time, but that thing is hopping up. And, we spoke about the other day on the show, the whole Ethereum mess up, and people are going to get on my butt about it, but listen, we have the London fork coming up. I get it. It's supposed to neutralize fees and whatnot. We've been paying too much gas for too long. But then the announcement with the whole 2022 thing, I mean, things like World Mobile and other projects on Cardano, I think there's a great chance that if they don't, people like Charles or Matic and Polygon don't lose step, I think there's a great chance of ETH flipping in market share.
I was on Paul Barron's, the Paul Barron Network, Barron, I think is how he says it. And we talked about the flipping, and I was like, I don't know, because I mean the market cap of Bitcoin is, what are we looking at, like around $680 billion, I think.
I'm not talking to Bitcoin. I'm talking about ETH.
ETH flipping what? What's going to flip?
No, I'm talking about ETH being flipped.
Oh, ETH being. Oh yeah. I mean, if you look at it like this. If that London fork for the EIP 1559, if it doesn't do what it said it's supposed to do, which is reduce those gas fees,
it's game over, in my opinion.
It's going to definitely eat into the market share, right? And that's just how it goes. So like if you have these other smart contracts around it going, well, we can do that, and we can do that, we can do that, we can do it faster, then off you go. But I mean, you do have these layer 2 solutions. So
hold on a second. I have the best hair in crypto. I'm on a live stream right now, Ryan. Can I call you back?
Yeah, call me back.
Yes. Goodbye.
Hey, let me show you. That was Ryan. What
was NFT hair. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, you got to always answer the phone for Ryan. What we're talking about is like things that actually do something. This is what World Mobile Token does. So there's really 2 parts. I've been talking about it forever. I think this is the next big one. So there's 2 parts. Infrastructure. They go in there and they build. See those things right there they're erecting right there? They've already done this in sub-Saharan Africa in different villages. So that is a mesh node that they're going to put up, and they put it around the village. That gives them telecommunications and internet. See those things right there on the left? Those are solar panels. They give the solar panels. They give the mesh network. And then they, on the second part, is they put in the blockchain technology, which is the World Mobile Token, which is going to be for digital IDs. It'll be for spending. It'll be for putting things actually on the blockchain so they can actually prove that they have ownership. So it's all going to kind of work together. So when I look at things like, what the heck are these meme coins doing? Well, when I take a look at this, I'm like, well, they're already doing it. So why not just go that route? And what's great about this one is it's built on a Cardano network. And that's my big spiel for World Vault.
And these underdeveloped countries, or the countries that are, I don't know. I always hate using the word, second tier, third tier for countries. People live there; they have a lot of pride. But listen, and does not sound as sexy as it's going to come out, or as pompous. But I was with a couple buddies who are have positions in state or of smaller countries, or have siblings that are heads of state. And so we were all chatting and going back a couple of weeks, and the whole thing about digitizing a currency, and regionally too, like an African currency or a Central American currency or a Caribbean currency or something like that, is really appealing, so that people have a unification. They can remain separate countries, but as long as they have the unification, which creates ease of use, and it's really, that stuff is appealing to them. It's almost like an EU, only for other places other than the EU.
Yeah, well, I mean, think about it this way. I mean, you travel a lot. I don't travel as much as you do, but everywhere you have to go and you have to exchange, for dollars, for whatever else. And it's a big hassle. And you go there and there's like a conversion rate. And it's like, wouldn't it just be easier? Not that we have like a world, everything dominant, but in like certain sectors, it's like, what can we use? And wouldn't it be awesome just to go up to any kind of like place? Because everybody's got one of these. I don't care how rich or poor or what country you live in. A lot of places have smartphones, which I always thought was odd, but it is what it is. So you just go there and just, here's my barcode, scan this, and that's my money. And then off you go.
And that's why the Bitcoin.com, the Bitcoin Cash wallet is so popular, because listen, I'm not a proponent of Bitcoin Cash in any way. I'm just saying the wallet is spectacular, and it was designed a couple of years ago for that in South America, to have those instant transactions. Couple of things I want to just jump into the chat real quick. Daryl Lister, how are you, my friend? Do I have an opinion on Charles H. or Novogratz's tweets? Well, first of all, I always have an opinion on those two. But in regards to their tweets, I don't. I haven't seen any of Charles's tweets for the last, I would say, 5 days, because I've just been busy at work. And anything Novogratz tweets, I really don't care about. But Rob, have you seen any of those tweets? And listen, Mike Novogratz is a nice enough guy. I didn't mean that in an evil way. I just don't care about what he tweets.
Let me look it up right now, because I don't even know if I even follow Novogratz. Oh, I am following him. Let's see. What did he say? That's not it. First of all, the last thing he tweeted was about Popeyes and Carl's Jr. chicken sandwiches.
Oh, that's a good tweet. Popeyes all the way over Carl Jr.'s. Love Popeyes. So this belly was not built not eating Popeyes.
Yeah. And then young women talking about the elbow thing. I guess the G7 summit.
That was creepy. Did nobody else find the G7 elbow thing creepy? Boris Johnson look, let's just take a look at this video.
Is that
you haven't seen it?
Is that Boris Johnson's wife?
Oh, well, Boris Johnson, and I'm not making fun of him at all, but he got secretly married a couple of weeks ago. And Boris Johnson's like 56 years old, and he got secretly married to like a 39-year-old. So God bless him. But the elbow thing is just weird looking.
It is. Now this is something interesting. This was on, what's the date today? 13th? Yeah. He's talking about Elizabeth Warren. Oh my God. So not that I have anything about Warren. I don't really care about politics. First of all, don't give Alex a thumbs down because you hate Warren. Give Alex a thumbs down because this video doesn't help you whatsoever, or you hate the video.
But, or maybe you're bored on Sunday and you just want to hear Rob's caressing voice.
Yes, exactly. That's all I do. So like Elizabeth Warren, she inaccurately talks about how much that cryptocurrency is really just destroying the planet, and we have to regulate the living tar out of it. And that's, of course, her stance. And then we talked about Senator Ted Cruz, who was on Fox News with Sean Hannity, and he said how fantastic cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is, and that you should look into it, but be careful. And I just thought it was interesting how it doesn't matter, like if one side says, you know what, what's great? Vanilla ice cream. It's the best of all time. And then that's for the Democrats. Republicans are like, you know what's awful? Vanilla ice cream. It actually destroys the planet. So like, it doesn't matter what they really truly think. I think sometimes it's just that they just want to go against each other. But I said, hey, if you're positive on crypto, I want to talk to you. Let's hear more of what you have to say. So that was just that little piece right there. But I did want to get into this last thing about the car salesman and the whole discussion about renewables and whatnot and what's going on in China. So apparently, did you guys know this? But China doesn't want Bitcoin in its country. Did you hear about this?
We have the digital yuan.
I know. I mean, this has been going on for years, right? They said we don't want Bitcoin, we don't want a cryptocurrency, but they were okay with the miners for a very long amount of time, right? They had no problems with a ton of the mining operations in there. And then all of a sudden they just said, crackdown. We don't want you guys doing those types of things because what Alex said, the digital yuan. So now we're seeing an exodus of all these huge Bitcoin miner players moving out. And there was this great video done by Guy over at Coin Bureau, and he just really lays it out in a timeline stance of what is going on. And he talks about these different companies that are in Europe and in North America who are getting just bombarded with requests for all these different mining operations to get moved over to North America. And guess where they're going? Good old Texas.
Yeah, well, you guys, you have that state tax incentive, right?
Yeah.
And you also have a lot of energy that's inexpensive. Matter of fact, a couple years ago, there was a very huge Bitcoin mining farm that was set up in Texas.
Layer 1 with
Layer 1. Yeah.
So like,
but they had, you know what they had problems with? They had problems with the dust. So I spent some time with a couple of the guys that originally started back in 2014, Fidelity's mining farm up in New Hampshire. And I didn't realize this. So even though you get that tax incentive.
Wait. Fidelity had a mining farm all the way back then?
Maybe I shouldn't have said something, but yeah.
You said it, but that's okay. Everybody just forget what Alex said. Okay, go ahead.
In New Hampshire. And so what happens is that you have electricity that's cheap, you have taxes that you're getting you're avoiding, but then you have this dust. And so they have to set up this whole new system inside the mining farm to deal with the dust. So it's a little extra, but I wasn't aware of it.
But you know what? Then I heard what they did is they were able to submerge these motherboards or these processors into some kind of like mineral type of fluid liquid, and that would help to cool it because it's so god awful hot. What do you got?
I just like throwing this picture up.
It is a good picture. Maybe that's how what he does before he sends those tweets out. So who knows?
So what do you think the mining effect or is going to have with it moving to North America?
I'm super pumped because so here's the thing. Again, do not give Alex's show a thumbs down because I'm going to talk about the coronavirus, but here's what it is. So like when we want to get data out of China, we don't get data out of China. Why don't we get data out of China? Because they don't let us have data out of China. They are a communist regime. CCP is like, yeah, we're going to tell you what it is, and then you're going to report that. And that's how it's been going. So when they start to talk about how like the operations are over there and they're using this much of renewable sources and everything else, I don't know how much you can really confirm these types of things, especially what's going on. Now, we do know that even when there was a Bitcoin mining operation, I want to say 2 or 3 months ago, some kind of flooding or some kind of shutdown happened, and you saw a reduction in the hash power of, I want to say, around 20%. And it screwed up a lot of things for a little bit of time. So if you just see one big mining operation that's stuck over in China, to me personally, I never was comfortable with everything being over there in China. And all the miners will say, but Rob, you don't understand because we can connect, we're like independent mining operations. We can connect to these big types of organizations and we can actually mine that way. I'm like, that's fine. But all the different mining rigs that they have, how many do they have? Like you are one miner. These guys have what, 1,000? 10,000, 20,000. Have you seen these warehouses? It's just like miles. It seems like it's miles long. It's like the Matrix. So like, I never felt good about that being over there, but I'm like, okay, now that China is kicking everything out, I know it sucks right now. And I know these miners, and there's some data in Guy's video, which was great. I know these miners are selling their Bitcoin because they have to pay for the great migration. If you want to move your business, you know how expensive that is to move all those different rigs from China over to Kazakhstan? Forget about it. You need a ton of money. And where do you get that? Where are you liquid 24/7, 365? Well, sell all that Bitcoin. If you're going to sell that Bitcoin, what happens? The price goes down. And I think it's a crappy time because of what's going on in the market. But I think it's short-term pain for a long-term gain. I have no problems if China wants to just say we don't want anything. Hey, we'll take all of your Bitcoin mining and we'll stick it all here in Texas and around the United States or even North America. I could care less. Put it over here. We can regulate it a little bit more. We can actually give you real data as far as like what is the renewable sources, and everybody can be happy. And then Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, can go all of it to his different funds, to his sovereign funds, and go, look, we're in America, we're in North America. These are renewable sources. If you want to get into Bitcoin, now is the time. That's my rant. That's it. I'm done.
That was a good rant. No, that was a good rant. But as Alex Quintero said, and I'm so bad with names, guys. If I mispronounce your name, don't take it personally. But as he said in the chats right here, that Guy said, miners need to spread their mining in various places. It's very true. It's like diversifying your portfolio. You never know when natural disasters or communist regimes or anything else may strike. So I think it is a good plan to have multi-geolocations for mining.
Yes. And then somebody has a good point. Red Wine 65 says China has 62% of mining and 100% of semiconductor materials. And that's another big problem. And we saw this with the coronavirus that came over here, especially in New York. Even Cuomo said it. He goes, we'd love to have these masks. We'd love to have these masks for all these different people that really need them right now, but we can't do it. We don't have the infrastructure. We can't even build it because we don't have the materials, and it's all in China. So this was,
I believe Canada has some. I believe Canada has semiconductor materials. Everything naturally from silicone to stuff like that they harvest out of the ground. So
sure. And you know what? I think, to me personally, I think if you're looking at these different types of companies, manufacturing plants, and they're like, you know what? We just don't have the resources. To me personally, I think this would be a national security issue. If you have to rely on another country to give you all of your products, if you have a national security issue, then why don't you put it into play? Like, instead of putting money into the most goofiest of projects, why don't you go, you know what? We need to bolster what is going on here and to make these manufacturing plants more successful so we can produce the materials and the goods that our citizens need. That's how I see things.
Jose has a good thing about Alaska might be a great place for mining. Well, he's not far off point. One, electricity is cheap. I believe it's one of the bottom 8 rated places in the United States alone for electricity. It's naturally cold. And we've already seen Iceland was one of the first mining meccas of the world for cryptocurrency.
I remember that.
Yes. Also the site of a great heist.
Yeah. Did you remember? Because I remember in Iceland, they were boring into mountains.
Yes.
And they were naturally doing that natural coldness to mine Bitcoin. So
I think I just want to break in here, but I think you and I are single-handedly pumping BTC through the roof right now.
I knew it was going to happen.
It appeared, yeah. I mean, this is great. I don't think we can get off the air. We're just got to stay on, support this price. But speaking of mountains,
we're staying here till it hits 40,000.
We're staying here till
I don't care if it takes 48 hours. We're going to be on this screen.
So, speaking of mountains, let's go to that volcano, okay, in El Salvador, where, yeah. So anybody who hasn't heard about this and have seen volcano memes or people making jokes about volcanoes on Twitter or social media, so El Salvador has a volcano, and what they've come out and said is that they're going to plan to use the excess power of the volcano in order to power like Bitcoin mining.
That's right.
And it's great because someone came out and said, FTX got the naming rights to the Miami arena. We're going for the naming rights on the volcano. And that was pretty funny. But the thing is I don't see it being feasible. I don't know how you harness the power of a volcano for Bitcoin mining. but they actually came out and said that.
I wonder, and if anybody knows this in the chats, I wonder if they've already done some kind of geothermal energy from volcanoes to do any kind of like harnessing electricity. That would be an interesting know if that actually is actually a reality. I don't know if you can do that.
You want to split the naming rights to the volcano? We could have it the Digital Asset News Trade the Chain Volcano.
I would pitch in. I have 2 million tomato coin right now in my possession that I will love to donate for that setup.
You're more a baller than I thought, Rob. Jeez.
Well, when you sign a deal with Olive Garden to put the put the marinara on the blockchain, tomorrow's marinara on the blockchain. I mean, you can roll around in a 2018 Dodge Mini Grand Caravan. So I mean, that's just how I roll.
Oh my God. Anybody saying anything funny or useful in the chats? Well, everybody always says everything's useful. The Alex and Rob marathon.
That's right. 48 hours. It's
It's coming from A-Rod, by the way. You see that?
That's pretty good. This is like a filibuster on the congressional floor. People just sit there and talk forever until something happens. We're going to talk forever until the price of Bitcoin goes to 40,000.
All right. Oh, it was great to see. Speaking of earlier where I said ETH might be flipped, I'm going to, I came out and said something irrational like that. ETH could be flipped by, maybe a Cardano or a Polygon. Did you see this morning, actually, when the market was not so good, AVAX and Matic were the only ones up on the Voyager app. They were up over 5%. I found that interesting that it was only other chains.
Yeah, what's crazy? So Matic is a layer 2 solution, right? That was just purchased a ton by
Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban, and he believes in Ethereum more so to these layer 2 solutions. My question is, and I think you guys talked about this on your channel, was let's say ETH actually goes through with their migration for ETH 2.0 and they pull it off without a hitch. Maybe. Yeah. So let's say it doesn't. And they're like, well, these layer 2 solutions, I wonder how much it'll actually be used. I think there probably still is a need for a layer 2 solution to kind of reduce the flow on these layer 1s, but I'm not for sure. What did you guys talk about that one?
I don't remember.
That may not be that great. So there's that one layer 2 solution, and then Avalanche. I see it like, as far as like smart contract functionality, our guys over there at Zero Exchange, if you are having a problem with, like your swaps and things like that on Uniswap, which, pro tip, if you're in North America, wait till like 2 or 3 in the morning. That's usually, I wake up around 4 or so, but around 3 o'clock, one day I did that and the fees were like super, super low. So if you ever like want to just get the least fees, go around that time.
Hit the overnight trading hours.
Exactly. And then, but for Avalanche over at Zero, you're able to go over to Zero and they give you a little bit of Zero to actually purchase more Zero. So your swaps cost like basically nothing. I know you've used it a lot. So I think Avalanche is a sleeper. And
I think AVAX is a sleeper. Yeah, I think it is too.
But only time's going to tell. My big thing, I'm just waiting for Cardano smart contracts come out in August. That's the big thing.
You keep pumping that. Smart contracts. I've seen that in like 3 thumbnails this week.
You like it. But it only makes sense. Just like in 2017, we had all the ICOs built in Ethereum. 2020, we had the Binance Smart Chain. 2021, I think it's going to be Cardano, Avalanche, maybe Matic. And we'll see how that all goes. And there's some good projects coming out. We just had an interview with Card Starter, which is the launch pad.
Oh, yeah.
And it's long, guys. It's like 45 minutes, but I broke it all up into sections so you can just click on the button, say, watch this. But the reason it took so long is because I'm not that smart and I need some smart people around me like Alex. But on this one, I got Hashoshi from YouTube fame to come in because he's a developer, and he asked a bunch of good questions to the team at Card Starter. And to me, what's great about them is that they do a vetting process. They talked about the vetting process of how they get these all these different projects that are being built on Cardano, and they say yes, no, 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 yes, no.
Yep.
And I was like, this makes a lot of sense how they do things.
I mentioned this. First of all, I like that. Okay, the vetting process, and Mark Berger and all my pals over at OCamFi.
Those guys, yeah.
Yeah. So I worked with them, Bequant, know them very well. And so I saw they had a moon card, right? And for folks who don't know what a moon card is when you see on like Twitter or social media, has the logo of the launch pad or the exchange and the logo of the coin or project, and it says like launching June 16th. That's called a moon card.
Nice.
And so they had a moon card for a project that was that they were supporting off of OCamFi. And then about a week later, I saw a notice of cancellation. And then they described it. They were like, "Listen, they were very diplomatic about it. I don't know anything that went on, and I didn't ask them. But they were like, due to the fact that we just there were some gaps in information, and before the final conclusion for launch, we decided to pull the product right or the project from launch." So what that tells me is that the team didn't feel comfortable, and I respect that because it
Yeah.
wasn't about the money at that point. It was about, well, we don't want to ruin our reputation while we're trying to gain trust by throwing junk out into the market.
Yeah, and you know what? This is the thing that always astounds me. There's the get rich quick crowd, and they just do like a one off and they're gone, right? But I never understood that whole mentality about that, because if you have a great product and a great service, why wouldn't you just stick in the game, grind it out, and make, instead of like a couple of million, make billions, you know, for that type of thing.
Exactly.
So I mean, we can only do so much, right? Me, you, everybody, you watching the video right now, you can only do so much as far as your own research. So that's why I was excited about Card Starter, because they said, well, we're going to do a bunch of research and then we're going to give you what we think is going to be good, and we're going to insure it if for any kind of rug pulls, any kind of backdoor access or some kind of hacks. I was like, well, that's pretty damn awesome. So at the very end, my conclusion was this. I told Owen, who was like their top cop, I go, yeah, Owen, here's what I'm going to do. You do all the hard work, and then tell me what the next IDO is, and then I'll look at it on your website. I'll do my own research a little bit, and then I'll just probably invest in that. He's like, yeah, do that. I don't care.
Well, one of the things that we're implementing with, and I can't tout it, won't tout it, the Cent token, our TTC coin.
Yeah.
One of the things that we're putting into the loyalty program there is first look. So the folks over at OCamFi, folks over at Zero Exchange, folks over at some other launch pads that we haven't come public with yet. We're going to let our members have, how there's like pre-sale, there's seed round, there's public round, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have one before them all, and it's the TTC round where the members get first look at the project before anybody else. It's part of the loyalty program. We give them as much research as they want. We're not endorsing it or anything, but it allows the everyday investor to get into projects that only us insiders know about before the regular people. So it'll be cool. I'm curious to see how that turns out with our members and the Launchpad projects.
Let me back up. What you just said. So you're telling me that these different projects that you guys are just talking, different crypto projects that are about to be launched. So you guys have talked to them, and then they say, this is what we're doing, this is what's happening. You guys do your research, right? I would,
Yep.
Okay, yeah, of course. And I know like Nick Mancini and then Doug, those guys back there, they do really great research, really great stuff. So you're doing that, and then let's say you get like 10 projects, right? You probably whittle them down to like one or two. And then you say, okay, guys, these are the ones that we think are going to be great. We're going to invest into them. And then
not so far as that. So we're not good, because then we're recommending the projects, right? So we don't want to do that. But what we're giving people is the opportunity to vet themselves. Okay. So we'll have, what we're doing is with all of our friends at all these different launch pads, at all these different chains, we've talked them into giving us for our members first look at the projects launching on them. And then they'll furnish the Trade the Chain members with all the material that they have on the project that's launching. The member decides whether they want to be in it or not. And that's before anybody else gets, like the next round of people get to see it.
Hey, it'd be great is if, because like some people are new and some people are like old pros like us, right? So we know to take a look at the tokenomics, to take a look at the utility, the white paper, the team, that type of thing. Could you guys put together like a quick video that kind of shows like, if you're looking for new projects, this is the thing to look into?
Well, one of my ideas was, quite honestly, especially since you came up with the transition for the clips show, was to let you have some of them to interview on the clips channel as project reviews.
Oh yeah.
And so,
okay, we do that. What I'll tell everybody is
if you're still going down that route,
D.A.N Clips is specifically for that, because I can't put that on digital asset news because it's just news and people will get ticked off like, why are you talking about this project? Just give me the news, monkey.
Like people are ticked off that two guys are talking on a Sunday and they tuned in to hear about a bunch of crap.
Hey, look, there's nothing going on Sunday, right? If you already went to church, now here we are. So I want to say this, like, if anybody wants to take a look at like how do you do your own research, just go to danteachescrypto.com, chapter 4. It's called research, and there's I think it's called projects, and the very first 2 videos are how to do your own research on these types of things. So that'd be a good one. But yeah,
and Alex Quintero, the utility of the Cent token, the website and socials are going up today, so you can read all about the loyalty program and stuff like that. It's not unlike what Voyager and StormX kind of have and stuff like that. But go ahead, Tamara.
That's another thing, Alex. So now that we're here and it's just us, no one's watching, you can tell me, you can trust me. So tell me, can you tell me? Well, I'll just say that. I don't want Ryan to get all bent out of shape if I ask you a question. He's like,
don't get my PR guy all upset.
I know, right? So tell us, because we already know part of not just the tokenomics, but the utility, what it is. I know there was discounts on trading, which is pretty cool, but on different exchanges. I don't know if you can tell us what exchanges, but tell us, is there any other thing that you can tell us about, like what are the rewards or the what the Cent token does besides give you a little bit more reductions in trading fees?
And I'm just going to address Skylar Hamilton with a StormX comment. We don't know any. Listen, I met up with Simon Yu in person for drinks. We spoke about StormX, a roadmap. He said, Alex, I want to tell you we have some great stuff coming. Obviously, he can't tell me what it is, but he was really excited. And I really do. He told me a couple of things that they're currently doing, but I'm really excited for StormX. So I'll tell you, he was in up spirits. I'll leave it at that. So Rob, back to your thing. So the program, the loyalty program for members is reduced. There's different venues that we've partnered up with and are in the current process partnering up with. They go from DEXs to centralized exchanges globally, different regions. Our members are 23 time zones, so they're all over the world. Yeah. It includes US exchanges, European exchanges. And so on those venues, and I can't mention them, folks, because they are exchanges that we might be getting listed on, and I can't divulge that information over the next couple of months. So you get reduced trading fees. Mm-hmm. You get higher APY yields than the regular people in the APY earning pools. Oh yeah. In the
Texas?
In the centralized exchanges. So like if you go to a centralized exchange now and they say earn, I'm just using this as an example, let's say 8% on or 4% on Dash, you may be eligible for 5.5% because you're a certain level TTC holder. Wow. So there's stuff like that. And I mentioned Dash because Dash we've partnered with, and
that's right.
There'll be an announcement on that as well. We're in their fast pass program. Also DEXs on member airdrops of the native DEX coins, so that they have little to zero fees when they trade on swap trades.
Okay.
So
that's pretty big. Little to zero fees, because
well, you know what it is? I kind of molded it after what I spoke to Steve with, or the Cent team molded it after what they spoke to Steve with, as regard to the VLP that's coming out there, as well as conversations with Simon on like StormX and what those things are, and kind of did like this whole blended thing, you know. So there's a lot of information coming out in the month of June and July, and I am able to say our first centralized listing or for cent is the Bitcoin.com exchange, which is coming out, which is being listed at the end of this coming week.
No kidding. Bitcoin.com. See, you told me because I thought that because I'm an American citizen, I couldn't use Bitcoin.com. But it sounds like I can do some transfers. Or no?
You can have transfers. So it varies from venue to venue. It's the AML KYC which prohibits like U.S. people in particular when it comes up with fiat on and off ramps.
Yeah, right.
So that's
I know that.
Yeah.
But if I send some tether over, I can transfer for Algorand or something or whatever they have.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and Bitcoin.com, they got a lot of. So it's just one more exchange, everybody. So if you want to, because gosh, what was it? The thing I always like to preach about is don't put everything in one place because you never know what can happen, right? I mean, I know some people have everything on like the Coinbase or the Krakens or whatever else. But what if something happens, right? I like to spread things around. And some people will even say, well, I got it all on my ledger. I got everything on my ledger. Well, you can do that, but I mean, if something like one of my members, they had their ledger and their private key. It was all written down in their house.
Yeah.
House caught on fire. What happens now?
Well, I mean, we've all heard your story with Cardano.
Exactly.
Tragic.
Tragic. 20,000 ADA gone. I will never find that piece of paper again. I can guarantee that. And now I'm in all these different houses. I don't know where the hell it is.
I will say that it looks like BTC we may not have to stay on for a week long marathon. It looks like it's climbing up over 39. Am I right?
39,023.
Is that what it is?
Crazy? Yeah. I'm telling you, everything that I saw coming in this weekend, it was like, this is gonna be the worst. It's gonna be awful. Like I remember 20, someone said 20,000, but 25,000, sure. And I was like, maybe it could. So I did this video yesterday and I talked about it. I'm like, look, well, I said two things. First of all, I don't think I'm ever going to use the term paper hands again because I think it forces.
It's a negative connotation.
Yes. Thank you. And because I said to myself, why do we keep saying this to people, right? If it's good for you and it's good for your family and you're in profit, then sell. And then some people will say, well, you should never sell because Bitcoin, like, even if, like I said, the example was if Bitcoin goes to 1 million and you sell, there's always gonna be someone who said, you're a moron. It's going to $2 million. You're like, who cares? I got $1 million and I just bought, 3 houses. And those are my investment properties. Who cares, right?
I'll tell you, listen, for the folks out there, I mean, Rob, I sold some crypto and bought a McLaren.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. The McLaren was basically free because I sold the Bitcoin.
Okay.
All right.
But you were in massive profits. You weren't like, it wasn't like it was draining all the way down and you're like, I got to get rid of this Bitcoin because I really need this. No,
I took some profits, man. Was somebody going to call me paper hands? I'm the one driving in the McLaren.
Why do you think people say paper hands?
I don't know. I think it's, and by the way, I'm just joking. I didn't buy a McLaren, but I'm a very big liar. But hypothetically speaking, can and could have and should have and would have. But the thing is that there's two types of people. There's long-term investors and there's traders. And then there's the people that are in between that have long-term investments and trade. And that is me. So I own Bitcoin. I have a very low cost basis for it. I have not accumulated Bitcoin in well over a year and a half. And quite frankly, actually, I've not sold Bitcoin. Like the last time I sold Bitcoin was in crypto winter 2018. And I think that was just to pay for firewood to stay warm during the winter. But yeah, so that's it. But you look at what's his name, Kramer on CNBC, who just got into crypto a couple months ago, bought into Ethereum. Ethereum did a big run up. He sold it, bought himself a Hummer, and now he has a free Hummer.
Yeah, exactly. And let me ask everybody in the chats, why do you think people call other people paper hands? Is it because that they're looking out for the other people's best interest and going, you shouldn't have sold. That wasn't a great idea. And they just want people to be, wealthy as they are? Or do you think it's where people say you have paper hands because if you're not with me, then you're against me? Like if you're selling Bitcoin, then that means that the price is going to go down. And if everybody else starts selling, then I get affected. So you have paper hands. That's what I think it is. That's how I see it anyhow.
I sell crypto every month, and it's for pure profit taking. And the goal is at the end, and then I have my Bitcoin, which I never sell.
Yeah.
But the goal is that I end up the year with a P&L with more wins than I do losses. Yeah. So far, so good.
Yeah. I don't think and some people say, well, you got to just keep crypto because, the dollar's going to zero. Look, I've been hearing the dollar's going to go to zero since I was in high school. And that was a long time ago. And I don't think it's going to go to zero. I think there's going to be inflation. So why wouldn't you just hedge your bet a little bit, take some profits and get into other assets that may help you all out? And this is not investment advice. This is just investment opinion. I can only tell you what I do, right? I have an exit strategy. I've kept the exit strategy as best I could. I was not perfect. I will be honest with you. There were some times when it's very hard to go, hey, theta's up massively. I need to sell another 20%. And I'm like, damn it. I did not want to press that sell button because I know it's going to go up. And guess what? I didn't. And guess what happened? It went down.
And that's because discipline is the number one important thing, Rob.
Yeah. And then, but I will tell you what I did with those profits. I don't just keep that money in the bank because what's it going to do? It's going to inflate away. So what I do is just buy assets, which are houses and land, and I put them into my Amazon business, and then I just kind of live off that. And so when people say paper hands, I'm getting kind of sick of it. And this diamond hand stuff, I think the big thing is just don't panic sell, because if you don't like the price, it's like the weather in Houston. Just wait a couple of days, it'll change.
Oh, well, it's funny you should say that because, I live in a couple different places, and my wife and I are getting a new place in New York City, and I need downsizing in New York City.
Not like Alex is buying another mansion or something like that.
No. Well, getting rid of one because the boy's going off to college, and we don't need 18 stories. So my wife was like, oh, I'm gonna send the realtor some money next week, to close on this thing and whatnot. And some of that is going to be out of crypto profits, right? So I said, just please let them know that it's going to be about Wednesday, Thursday when we send over the money. And she knows exactly why I say that, because Monday, Tuesday is when the market is dumping and recovering. Wednesday, I feel I've gained a little extra more and I can hedge my trades. And then Thursday, the cash is out and off to the realtor. So yeah.
Then off you go and everything's set. You're good to go.
Exactly. But I'm not paper hands for doing it. I'm living off a profit. And one thing I can't say badly about the Tesla deal, going back to the car salesman, is that people can't be upset that Tesla sold. They sold their profits. They sold the percentage of the profits they'd made of Bitcoin, not the principal. So they didn't, quote unquote, dick anybody over in crypto Twitter land. They basically made some profit and sold a little bit of it to keep going.
Yeah, I just think that the reasoning was we want to sell 10% just to see if it was possible liquidity. I'm like, well, I think that if I'm not mistaken, isn't what MicroStrategy did was kind of like the opposite. They did micro transactions over weeks and they didn't move the market whatsoever.
Yes. That's what I wanted to get. I forgot. I dropped the ball on that, Rob, when you were alluding to that earlier. And that is why the whole Elon Musk, we sold 10% in order to see if Bitcoin would move the market is BS. And I finally tired Rob out. He's sitting, thank God. So it was BS because MicroStrategy they partnered up with Coinbase, and Coinbase trading desk created a strategy where they were going to microburst buy orders over a spread period of time in order to eliminate the impact on the order books in the market. Right. It was a very smart move. It was a very large amount of Bitcoin that's MicroStrategy's originally bought, and it was executed flawlessly. We actually had no impactful market movement from the US's largest crypto exchange on selling and buying BTC. It was good.
Yeah, it was great. And then we didn't hear about it until afterwards, right? When we heard about this company, this crazy company called MicroStrategy, some guy named Michael Saylor. But do you remember do you remember once we heard that story, what happened to the price of Bitcoin?
Yeah. So funny enough, all the buying of that Bitcoin, if it had been done by a different strategy, would have sent it up enormously. And we're going back to the month of September, I believe, that this was done. Now, what's ironic is that the strategy performed flawlessly and didn't manipulate the market. But then when the filing, the SEC filing for MicroStrategy came out, it's what basically initiated our bull run.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing though? Like when people talk about whales and they talk about manipulation in markets, not to say that MicroStrategy did the manipulation, but they were smart about it. They go, we're going to not maliciously, that's a bad way to say it, sneakily buy this Bitcoin in these microtransactions and not move the price up too much. And then once we have enough that we feel is good, then of course, then around that time, the filing will come out, the stories will come out. And then what happens to the price? So what did you do? What did you do? You
manipulated the market on the back end. Which, by the way, they had no choice but to do because they're required to file. But it's almost like a catch-22. It's almost like legalized manipulation, right? Buy it quietly so we don't become a market mover and break the law. And then we're forced to file the good news. So, hey, we're going to win.
Exactly. There was the perfect strategy. So like, first of all, the market isn't that big. If we buy this much, it'll probably move the market. Now, here's my next question, Alex. If the car salesman knows that just by him tweeting, the negative aspects of Bitcoin and how the renewables are a big factor, and they're going to stop accepting payments, he knew that it was going to drop the price.
Yes.
Why would he do it? Why would he do that? Because he just bought, was it 1.5 billion? And now he's down to 1 billion?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'm sure there's plenty of shareholders that are upset at that fact, considering that in their 13F filing, or let's see, I don't even have it up anymore, but they're filing when they bought the 1.5 billion of Bitcoin. I went through about 26 different warning and exposure disclosures relative to their business. And what pops up towards the bottom? Bitcoin. We bought cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is highly volatile. It goes on our GAAP balance sheet as, XXX asset. So it could be a liability. So yes, it's weird that he did it. I am if I had to internally believe a belief, I believe he may have been maybe at one too many, and maybe he was smoking a joint and he wanted to impress a supermodel in the back of the limo. I don't know. Like, hey, babe, look what I can do. Watch this. Watch the market fall. See it falling.
No, he's got that, but whatever lady he's with, that really good-looking lady, I forgot her name. He just had a kid.
But the thing is that I just don't see any logic to it. And it's the same thing that happened when he had his Tesla stock issue with the SEC.
That was weird, right? Because the same thing. I did this story about how in the past he's done it before, where he said, and it was just a weird tweet. He just said, "I think that our Tesla stock is overvalued," and all of a sudden it went. And then someone tweeted at him, was like, "Hey, bro, why you just kill all my gains?" Essentially, that's what happened. And he just did it again. I just don't think there's one of two things. Either that doesn't make any sense still. Even if I said it, even me saying it loud doesn't make any sense. If he doesn't realize that his tweets don't move the market, that sounds ridiculous because he's got to know that's going to move it just a little bit. But the second part I keep thinking about is he must have had the squeeze from all the people who are like, hey, you're supposed to be saving the planet with all this, these batteries, and all these electric companies, and now you're going this. You got to get out of this. And
there's enough smart people that know better than to do that. Say that.
It's so weird. I don't know.
And what? I cut you off.
Oh no, I just think because then there's that, and then the carbon neutral credits that they get from the government for all their different cars, because they get subsidies. Maybe they were worried about that. The government comes down.
I would like that. That's a good thing they brought up carbon credits. So, folks, carbon credits have a market of their own, like commodities market. And I actually have a good friend who has a carbon credits hedge fund in New York City, and makes beautiful money out of it. Let me tell you something, but the arbitrage is there. It's real, and companies buy and sell carbon credits all the time. And so I'd be curious to see what the carbon credit market place for Tesla is, to see if they've bought or sold any. It would be interesting. I might have to research that.
Interesting. Yeah. In the chats, Porfiro says lithium mines saving the planet, and he's correct. So all these batteries, they have to be mined in these lithium mines, and it's a dirty operation. I hear it's child labor, not for sure. Didn't look it all up, but it does sound like it's very dirty. And on top of that, those batteries, there's no way to dispose of them.
That is absolutely right. EVs are not the healthiest thing in the world. Those batteries are very, very toxic.
Yeah. I think everybody should. Yeah, we're just going to have to start riding bikes.
Real quickly, Amber Heard. It wasn't Amber Heard Johnny Depp's girlfriend or something, wife at some point?
I think so.
Yeah, right? Mm-hmm. It must be a small community out there in LA.
Must have been. I don't know what happened there. I think that's I heard that she used to beat Johnny, but I swear to God, that was these rumors. Secret Squirrel says this is fun, but I must admit that TTC After Hours was more fun. You know, made that whole show fun. Alex,
it's the fact we were all drunk.
Yeah. We were drinking a little bit. I was tipsy. Alex was a little one more sheet to the wind than I was. But a lot of truth bombs were on that one. We should do that again.
Oh God! Oh my God! We've been doing this for an hour and a half. All right, Rob, did you drop a video today, or do you have one dropping?
I do.
Or Sunday, your day off. Didn't we have a talk about this?
Yeah, I was going to take Saturday off, but I played volleyball in the morning, and it gets too hot for us to play after 11. So I did a video. I'm gonna do one today. I just want to talk about the market, where I see things going. And I got to tell you, it was a tumultuous time this weekend, and I didn't really know what to really go for, because I was like, shoot, if it really goes to 20,000, that does suck. And then I was like, but what if it just trades sideways? What if it even goes up? So a lot of people, I know they did probably the smart thing, and they sold and they tethered in, and they're waiting to see what happens. Well, guess what? You can do that, and there's nothing wrong with it, but you're gonna have to pay a penalty, 5 to 10% penalty to get back in. Because if you sold at 34, 35, where it went to, well, now what are we at, Alex?
We're almost 40. I mean, you and I are moving the market, buddy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and that's why we need to get off now, because we don't want it to go to 50,000 for Pete's sakes. So
BTC 40K, is that true?
Yes.
We've done it. All right. We told you folks we were staying on here until Bitcoin hit 40,000 because
no, sorry. It's 38. It's 39,000. Sorry, excuse me.
Jeez.
Sorry.
All right. I'm not staying on until 40,000.
No, close enough.
I think we got it close enough with our major influence. All right.
That's all I want. I'll probably do a video later, but that's it for today. So everybody, thanks for sticking with us. I just wanted to give you guys like a little heads up. We did it. If you're able to get through, and if you sold a little bit, whatever, or if you held on, great, good for you. But I think with what's going on, with all the great news that we have, on top of what I'm most bullish on is the fact that all those mining operations are going to get pushed out of China. Let's just be honest. China, the government, they are going a whole different way. The Chinese people probably want cryptocurrency, but they're not going to get it. Let them have the digital yuan. We lost 1.6 billion. It's okay. We got 5 billion left. We'll be okay. And I'm happy that they actually come to North America and Europe. I'm ecstatic.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. I think we'll just have to see now what regulation words are going to be spewed out of Washington. Maybe I don't even want to get, I'm jumping the gun. Lucas Bradley, I saw you in the chats. Thank you so much, sir. We love having Lucas on the show. He's a smart dude.
He's a smart guy. He's doing a lot of things. And I'll be down there, guys, in July. We'll do a quick video, maybe some. You guys can have your wine. I have it chilling right now. It is a vintage Bud Light.
Wait, are we gonna do a video? Are we all gonna do a video together on the beach, like running like David Hasselhoff in Baywatch?
No, but what we should do is we should do TTC after dark, and then the wine and the beers will flow, and we'll tell people what we really think. And then I'm gonna squeeze more information out of you from all the different things.
That's right. I just flow when the wine is going. So all right.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us and listening to us hang out. We just kind of wanted to chat, and we're glad you chatted with us. So we'll resume our regularly programmed